Senate Judiciary Chairman Lindsey Graham is preparing for a likely impeachment trial in Senate, and he slammed House Intelligence Committee Chairman Republican Adam Schiff for his actions in leading the inquiry into President Trump. Republicans have been criticizing Schiff for subpoenaing and releasing phone records of calls between the office of former Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes and Rudy Giuliani, left partners, and John Solomon. Graham thinks it's very dangerous and asked him if he wanted to be called to the Senate as part of Senate oversight. Graham said he would never do that because he is not going to participate in things that would destroy the country. He pointed out that while members of Congress are not above the law, we are not going to turn the Senate into a circus. Graham continued to take Schiff to task for his role in the impeachment inquiry as a whole, pointing out that previous investigations were led by special counsels, not members of Congress with a partisan agenda. Graham said Adam Schiff is doing a lot of damage to the country and he needs to stop.
Articles of impeachment. This is a joke of a process. It's dangerous to the country.
House Democrats on Tuesday announced that they will vote on whether to impeach President Donald Trump on two specific articles: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
He endangers the Constitution, he endangers our democracy, and he endangers our national security.
Nadler said, "Unlike President Trump, we understand that our duty, first and foremost, is to protect the Constitution and to protect the American people. That is why we must take this solemn step today." Trump's pressure campaign of Ukraine compromised our national security and threatened the integrity of our elections, the New York Democrat added. Throughout this inquiry, he has attempted to conceal the evidence from the Congress and from the American people, Nadler said, and he continued that the president, when he betrays that trust and puts himself before the country, he endangers the Constitution and endangers the national security. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff took the podium next, declaring the evidence of the president's misconduct is overwhelming and uncontested. The House leaders took no questions after making their announcement Tuesday morning. The articles represent the investigation by the House into Trump's dealings with Ukraine, the probe with which the Trump administration refused to cooperate in any way, comprised testimony from federal officials, documentary evidence, and statements from the president himself. The articles also reveal a strategic decision by the House Democratic leadership to keep their investigation sharply focused on Trump's campaign to pressure Ukraine into launching investigations into Trump's political rivals, and not to broaden the impeachment probe to include alleged obstruction of justice by the president in former special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe. The investigation, which has been criticized by Republicans in part for moving too quickly, is about to pick up even more speed. The House Judiciary Committee plans to vote on the articles this week, sending it to the full House for a final vote. In the chamber, Schiff pushed back his critics, explaining the urgency of the impeachment proceedings by noting that it would take months or years to resolve their disputes with the White House through the courts. Pelosi had long resisted elements of her Democratic caucus, pressuring her to pursue Trump's impeachment following the release of the Mueller report, which described numerous instances charges of possible obstruction by Trump that were ultimately dismissed by Attorney General William Barr. But Pelosi herself announced the impeachment inquiry in September on heels of reporting about a bombshell whistleblower complaint raising alarms about Trump's July 25th phone call with Ukraine President. Trump in that call asked Ukraine President to look into unsubstantiated allegations against former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter. Trump also said the Ukraine President should investigate the debunked conspiracy theory pushed by Russia that suggests Ukraine, not the Kremlin, interfered in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Biden has been accused by some, including Trump and his lawyer, Judy Giuliani, of pressuring Ukraine to fire a prosecutor there in order to protect his son, who had served on a board of Ukrainian natural gas company that was widely seen as corrupt. But Biden's actions toward Ukraine were consistent with both U.S. foreign policy and many other European nations. The president said on Twitter after the articles were announced, saying that the judiciary chairman's claim that he pressured Ukraine to interfere with the 2020 election is ridiculous and not true. Trump tweeted earlier today that to impeach a president who has proven through results, including producing perhaps the strongest economy in our country's history, and confirm he has done nothing wrong, this is sheer political madness.